We look forward to those programs being presented. And now, ladies and gentlemen, drum roll. Grizelda Grootboom. Grizelda the activist. Grizelda the victim supporter. Grizelda the author. Grizelda the human trafficking survivor. Call her what you will, just don't call her a victim. That she is most certainly not. Grizelda moved to Johannesburg at the tender age of 18 and was trafficked into the sex trade. She's here today to share with us her lived experience, not research, guys. She lived this. Grizelda authored her first book in 2016, which received a SALA nomination, and in 2017 it was nominated as Book of the Year in the Southern African region. I say first book because I think there are more to come. Grizelda has addressed the United Nations General Assembly, and she is on a mission to end slavery of African girls by 2020. Now, we've spoken about the name of Zelda being a derivative of Griselda, but I looked at the name Grizelda with a Z. It has a German meaning. The name Grizelda is a German baby name in Germany. The meaning of the name is from Old German, meaning a grey battle or a Christian battle. And I think that is very apt for the pocket rocket we're about to see and listen to. Grizelda, we look forward to your presentation. Thank you.
Backpacker somewhere. This was here last week or so. And thank you so much, Shama Monks, the academics. Very interesting day for me. My presentation, I'm not going to be going through it. You're just going to see a couple of slides. But I'm also going to give you the survivor right now that's trying to survive through the system of injustice. I said it earlier to some of my people. They're like, your words is just out of this world. As a survivor of sex trafficking and you know, the modern day slave and prostitution too, for me is so close to when I sit in a room like this, certain smells already get to me. And that's what, beyond the interviews that we get with a psychologist or the great good deep people. My story, I think most of the people in the room already knows it very, very well. I was a happy kid. I was very happy. In fact, I sometimes say I was happy up to a point when I was a street kid too. Because when Tata Madiba came out, he made sure the kids that didn't have homes were dealt with. You know, we were the first bunch that came to Gold Reef City. And we were just excited that Tata invited us, the imported officials. And also just going through the day of freedom when all our beautiful men of government were standing at the parade screaming freedom. I was a street kid at that time and pickpocketing them, thinking, and today I wonder, how is they having IDs? Because we stole quite a lot of pickpocketings. So I'm just saying. And it was a beautiful time for me as a kid, but also as a black child, growing into the new era of government. It was shocking to find myself being stuck in the sex trade of sex trafficking and prostitution. My trafficker was a girl that comes from a good family. She didn't need anything but a space and place to smoke drugs. And we as street kids were the outcast. And if you look at what we have in Cape Town today, that is gangsterism. Funny enough, that was my constitution to live by due to the apartheid government. We were 26, we were 28, and we lived under the bridge, and that's what we lived through. And we used to sell drugs. And pretty girls used to come and smoke drugs by us because they knew we were girls and we looked, you know, butch and everything, so we're the outcasts. It wasn't a big deal for them when they were amongst us smoking. And she knew my life. I know that she knew my life because it was a whole year relationship. We would sit when she's done smoking, the drug kick in, share dreams, share opportunities. You know, for her it was that she knew it was a safe space for her to smoke drugs as a rich kid and also leave us there. So that she knew. So for me to think the opportunity that she gave me to come to Johannesburg on my own, because I trusted her. So I took the transportation on my own to Johannesburg, knowing the woman that I'm about to meet, she knows me. And in gangsterism, if you know very well, you come in the territory of a 26, they'll stab you. So constantly I had to give the protection of the 26 for her. So there's nothing that she didn't know about crime and gangsterism. So she knew who and what I was. And I knew that particular loyalty between our relationship, I would be still safe if I go with her. And as I did that, meeting her here in Johannesburg at Jovo, it was exciting for me. Because as a street kid, we only could smell drums, bins, and urine. But I walked into a home that smelled fresh. And this was my time to change. I was actually planning to change my behavior, usage of drugs, just to stay in the safe place, not knowing that she was having other plans. And her plans was to put me in the room, and then she went to get me food, and that was the last time I saw her. And the first thing that woke me up was one of those kicks in the stomach where you know you could lose your breath. And just being undressed. And my body goes in that state every time I stand in front of people. Every time. To being undressed, duct tape around my eyes, and crystal meth injections behind my knees by the veins. So it could lower and put my nervous system very quiet. And that's what happened to my lower body. So I don't feel anything. And in no time wasted, clients started to come in. The only thing that my mind had to educate myself was the feel and smell and the listening. Men coming in and just, like Evacate was saying, new mouth. And that was the language in that room. They would do whatever. Some men you could smell, oh, he just came from home. Or he just came from a meeting. Some men would just lay, and then when he's passed out, he'd wake up and then take all over again. There's enough cigarette burns on me to show who was with me. And no time wasted. In 2 weeks, to the common sense that I had left, I was exchanged with a younger girl. In the middle of the night. They knew the justice system. They knew the SAP system. For them to kick me out in the middle of the night. And I could smell this girl skin, but she's young. And I could hear her trying to scream between the fingers that she's trying to bite. And I just knew she was never sexually exploited. And I went on the streets, already groomed and know the industry of sex trafficking, its market is there, which is prostitution. No time wasted, went back to Park Station. Park Station by then was the ever transit borders for any truck business in our country. Any truck company we have, that stop was the major truck stop for truck drivers. And they would be there, chilling, and do whatever they need to do, and there were clientele that was higher than anything. Because of the drugs I was gotten, at least about 21 minutes or 20 minutes, you're already craving because your blood gets thinned out by the crystals. Meaning half of your blood cells are not even getting a chance to develop because the drug is there. So the craving of it is beyond. And my craving was forgetting everything. My craving was trying to stop bleedings or trying to stop nose bleedings. And I had to stay high as much as I could. And guess what? I was totally welcomed by those who ran the industry on Hilbert Street. By men, tavern owners, where cops would see me being received by a pimp. It was my fault for being there. I'm to blame for being there. So you as a cop, don't help. Don't ask me why am I doing in the middle of the night there. Because the image that mankind is giving you towards my body is I want to be there. And that continued from the age of 18 till 27. Borders, clubs, and black women then had to fight and kill each other to just work at the greatest clubs in the world. The Lolly Jacksons, the Teasers, the Mavericks would fight for the position because it was a little bit safe. You get cocaine in there. And at 26, it was the season of all seasons. Men were crowded in this country because it was the main sports taking place, football. That was men's season, AFCON, where men was allowed to tour anywhere through our provinces. And we were working at the brothel for a medal. It was peak time. These boobs were injected probably every 7 hours for the boobs to grow when you strip. Funny enough, I'm still having to deal with the stigma from women questioning my boobs, not knowing where I'm from. And that same season was the season I got pregnant with my baby girl. By then I'm 26. I know the industry where you get locked up, you keep quiet. Go to jail, the following morning, you get out. Madam doesn't get caught. You get scanned by a cop for the madam. He's no more in his uniform, he's not at the club, pointing out who told the station manager what was happening. And most of the raids were always about drugs or Babylon. When we call it modern day slavery, organized crime, as survivors, we basically say we have enough evidence and facts on our bodies in the regions where we can just point out where and what. And that same season I got pregnant with my baby girl. Abortion used to take place all the time in our brothel. But because I was a black girl and my clientele was so low, I was asked that I should carry till 6 months without mentioning it to me. And at 6 months, Summer had to go in-house abortion. Me and the girls were trying to figure out if she only got full body fullness. The girls were going, no, the left hand's got 5 fingers. Don't worry, she's home. And I get so mad when people think this does not happen in the country. I get so mad when they say, oh, your story. There are people using languages in conferences and workshops and trying to normalize the Sarki Batman 1810 sex trafficking. I get extremely mad when they're trying to bring their patriarchal culture, religion, language into, no, but you know this thing has been here for years. Oh, so you don't want to fix it? Because it's been there for years, so we cannot fix it. I know Marcel told me not to, but I'm a survivor. And I still stay in areas where I still see girls disappear in a second. And then the process is just to get justice for that girl being disappearing for a second is so long. It is so long. It's unbelievably long. The care centers, the social workers, the safe houses, the courtrooms. For me, it's like, okay, so the man traffics this kid and then he gets caught. But the processes to implement the justice system of the trafficker takes so long. Where the victim themselves feel the fear because she knows her time clock. Her pimp has groomed and abused her mind enough to let her know your time clock on this earth is mine. So don't even try it. I can get you anywhere, anyhow. My exit was drug trafficking. I'm trying to live my two lives. Salvation Army could only offer us blankets during the day. Their shelters were too overcrowded. And at night, the pimp knew where Salvation Army soup kitchen was. Ready there with the car. The same thing they're doing today in Cape Town and Brooklyn. You see girls on the street, and when you come and want to minister to them, there's a car vibrating next to you and saying, leave that girl alone. Law enforcement and cops are seeing these things on the streets, and they have a mandate. Yes. I am here to blame. Because today, still in our country, we see headlines where girls are being killed, raped, and trafficked. And then we still see headlines after that saying all of those things, prostitution could be workable. The same prostitution that gets found into sex trafficking recruitments. The same prostitution that shows all the elements that comes from sex trafficking. Because I don't know how many movies I still have out there under sex expose and adult world. Because they were done. Our bodies were used. If we didn't have clients, we had to have movies of porn. And then we still saying the sexual exploitation industry could be workable. These kids in Kailicha just 2 weeks ago killed and stabbed to death for body parts. In Kailicha by the next neighbor, and we're still questioning where is trafficking happening. I'm part of a global movement of coordination, trafficking against women. And we want to abolish it. We don't even want to ask, what are you on about? Who you doing? We don't have a court. We don't need this. We want to tell you, find a courtroom, get the justice system to focus on it and remove the 1810 Saki Batman sex trafficking. Because we've been saying it. Black women come from Senegal, Nigeria, and everywhere, and they come to South Africa because the word development is happening as a country. And when they get trafficked from their countries and get to our borders, the first thing they tell them, you're a criminal due to documents. And this is a woman. We don't care about the women factors that this young girl was trafficked from Congo or DRC or anywhere into the development country that holds the continent. I'm okay, Ambassador, if we're on the watch list. I'm okay, Ambassador. Because that means the country will go on its knees and finally find and speak to their source of what wrong and right is. I'm totally okay with that. Because we can't even do awarenessness. If we have to do awareness in my area, which is Kailicha, we need to check first. But nobody checks when an old man picks up a young girl, which is a pastor of the community. But no, survival wants to do awareness, check first. Who are you? The sex trafficking trade that we're coming against modern day slavery on women and young girls. Call any brothel if you like to. at 2 and 1 a.m. while you're sitting watching TV. We just had one movie premiere in Cape Town that I totally didn't understand, where international productions was in Cape Town. And they were bringing a movie of Me Too. The movie showed so many porn sites, so many porn factors in that movie, that I was wondering, how does this person come to my country, get a go-ahead in my country to shoot a movie that has so many signs of porn? No, let's continue normalizing it in a certain language that will keep all regulations of those who do criminal works safe, of those who don't want to work hard. We've asked on Home Affairs that they would actually push to prioritize documents of women that were brought in. 3 months, prioritize that case. Do you know how many people told us in departments, no, that is too short? Like, no, we can't, that's too short. So you don't want to prioritize this victim's case. You wanted to stay in jail as a criminal because she didn't have documents, but she's also showing signs that she was sexually exploited during her transportation. I'm very happy to be a survivor, to tell the truth, but I'm not happy to be a survivor having to stand in front of people that are in a position to save us and not doing it. I never woke up 8 years old and saying, I want to do this. In fact, I want to do something else. I want to be a mother to my son that came up. I need to get ready to tell him where he comes from. And then we still think sex trafficking is a global thing. It is right under our nose. And it's done not even by people that looks they could.